Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV and Community Focus on Washington County, which is always important to me. And with us today is Richie Hamilton, who is the...
I'm the Employment and Training Specialist for the Central Kentucky area.
Yeah, which is Washington County. And Marion and Nelson.
Not Marion.
Oh, not Marion?
No, I cover Washington, Nelson, Hardin, and Shelby.
Okay, okay. So, well, welcome, Richard.
Thank you.
Of course, Richard is your given name,
Given.
even if you go by Richie.
Given.
So, yeah. So, tell me now, Richard, what's going on with your program?
Well, what we do is the Kentucky Farm Workers Program works with individuals that are in a farm setting, which is a seasonal, or they're migrant workers. And what I mean by migrant workers, they're workers that are maybe lives in another county. Say they live in Todd County, but they come to Washington County to work. So they're migrant
During the
workers.
on the farm, doing farm work.
Right.
Is that right?
Right. For
Okay.
the migrant workers. Now, say that they come and they work in, what we do is with the migrant workers, we help them find suitable employment. Plus, we allow them to have housing so they won't have to transport and drive all the way back and forth. If they can't commute all the way back and forth in a timely manner, then the migrant worker is the one that we work with to house.
Okay, now, so,
Work close.
Richard, this is, this, of course, is important to the farmer because he needs workers.
Okay.
Right?
Well, it's
And then you're bringing in, or these workers, these farm workers that are coming here to say work in our county, you're assisting them.
right. But it's just not to work on farms.
Oh, it's not just to work on farms.
No, it's just not on the farm. What the program is basically about is people that maybe have been on the farm and had some kind of farm experience, but looking to go out in the workforce.
Oh, okay. So now, are they residents of Washington County, or you're saying they've come here and then...
If they're in another county, say that they're transporting from one county to another, but they're long distance. And if they can't get back to their homes, home place of residence in a time of need or whatsoever, and they don't have to keep running back and forth to drive that long distance, then we consider that a migrant worker, a person that needs housing, and then we can assist those individuals.
I see. So what if you've got someone that is in Todd County, or somewhere in northern Kentucky or western Kentucky where it's a 2-hour drive to this area, say they're working at a factory. Do you help them also?
We can help them. We can help them get a suitable temporary housing.
Temporary housing, rather than having to drive back and forth because they cannot afford to, so they have to meet some financial eligibility requirements.
Exactly, Lisa. They have to meet our program guidelines, which they have to have farm experience.
They have to have farm experience.
In the last 24 months.
Okay. So it could have been, say, for example, a farmer in Todd County who was working farming there on a farm, but the farm went out of business or something, or they're not able to work there full time. They need a job that pays more money or has full-time benefits or something. So they started commuting to Washington County to the factory.
Correct.
And so they initially are going to need some assistance to get situated with housing.
Exactly. And
Okay.
if they need materials and stuff, such as things to work with, like their boots and stuff to go to work, if they need things of that nature, our program, as long as they're in our program they qualify, we can provide those things for those individuals and make sure that they're comfortable and having the things that they need in order enough to go to work. Now, the Farm Workers Program is really saying, because most of the time farmers work on a farm.
Right.
That's mostly what they do. Now, if they wanted to go out and get a regular job in a factory or a customer service job or something of that nature, don't have those skills. So our program will allow those individuals to get those skills that they need.
So you'll
in
train
order-
them
We'll train on the job training as well.
on the job training,
Mhm.
and so could they like come to? Do they need to already be employed here, or you will help them get a job here?
We will help them get a job. As long as they meet those guidelines of our program, have that 24 months of farming
In
experience.
farming. So say, for example, it could be someone who's lived right here in Washington County all their lives and say milked cows for someone.
Exactly.
And now that the farm's been sold or whatever, or they're not needed there anymore, you can help get them trained in another job.
Exactly.
So, and it could be on the job training,
hmm
or could it also be training at a vocational school
It
or
can.
something like that?
And we partner with WIOA, which is the Workforce Investment Opportunities Act, and that's that would be like Terry Thomas
Yeah.
and her program. So we partner with each other in order enough to say, hey, if they need these skills, if they want to be, if they want to get a CDL,
They want to
So-
get a CDL, be a truck driver or a bus driver.
or I can refer those individuals to Terry, and they can get the resources and the things that they need in order enough to get that CDL from her.
So that's good.
Right.
And then, okay, so that kind of training, those trainings, also maybe could be like, well, there are women out there too who've been on the farm.
Oh, yes.
Probably primarily men. However, or it could be a man that wanted to become a nurse, a nursing assistant, or
Right.
a
Correct.
CNA,
Exactly.
certified nurse assistant.
And we can get those individuals in the right direction in order for them to get that certification. Even though it wouldn't be in my program, they could go with Terry Thomas, which she covers the Lincoln Trail area.
Right, she
And
covers
then-
Washington County.
And then there's Leslie Norris, which she's in E-Town, so she covers that area. So there's always partnerships along the line that we can send them to in order for them to get the training that they need in order to get what they want.
Okay, because if it was something you didn't have, you know who to refer them to
Exactly.
to get the services that they need.
Exactly.
So, okay, now, so you could provide, okay, say if someone was here and they had been milking cows and now they don't, say they were on that farm actually living as a tenant and they had to leave that farm,
Okay.
could you help that person with housing?
Exactly. If they were going out from Washington County to Todd County, like we had the example, if they were moving out of from long distance.
Oh,
driving,
okay, so
of
if
a
they
long
were
distance.
leaving here and going somewhere else. So it could be someone who's leaving here and going somewhere else,
And that
or
is-
someone that's somewhere else and coming to here.
If
Either
it's
way.
temporary, that they're doing, work that they're doing, we can house them and get them housing for that length of time that they're working with that individual.
Okay, okay. So it would just be on a temporary basis.
Right. It's usually on a temporary
Like
basis.
helping pay their rent?
Rent, have to pay the rent, and having
Or make a
stable.
deposit?
It's really paying the rent
Okay.
and getting them on their feet while they're working, and for them to save money. Once they get their money saved and everything else, as long as they're in the program with us, we can provide those assistance for them in order for them to continue to work.
And how long can you keep a person in your program?
Well, usually what we have in our program is that we work them up to it's 680 hours that we do the on-the-job training. But once that we found them a job and they're on their feet, a couple of months that we provide assistance for them in order until they get on their feet and be able to provide for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So, and so a person just needs to call you and set up an appointment?
Best to call me because I'm running 4 counties. So
Four counties.
I am
Yeah.
never mostly. I'm in the office sometimes because
Uh-huh.
I didn't need to do a lot of paperwork and I can't do it on the road when I'm driving. But
Uh-huh.
they can call the office. What's actually Lisa, I come over to Springfield once a week.
Okay. And
So I'll be in the old courthouse upstairs with where Judge Settles is. I'm in the Career Center office that's housed in there now with the Carol Thompson.
Okay.
That she's in there. So she comes over once a month
from Marion County.
from Marion County.
Uh-huh.
But we share offices, so she's allowed
Mhm.
me to share that office if I have people to come in and want to talk and we want to see each
Mhm.
other and get the application rolling or information we need to know about the program.
Mm-hmm,
So
So now you're in that office what day?
it just depends.
varies?
It just depends. If I
Okay.
got people that are interested and they call me, we can meet and I just say, hey, I need to talk to you about the program. Can we meet here in Springfield? Where can we meet? And then I'll tell them that we can meet in the Career Center,
Uh-huh.
and then that way they don't have to drive to Barstown to see me because I'll come to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you cover, as you said, Washington, Nelson, Boyle,
No, Hardin
Hardin,
and Shelby.
and Shelby.
Hmm.
So now, to be eligible, the first eligibility requirement would be is that the person has to have worked on a farm within 2 years
Yes, ma'am. And they have to meet the income guideline.
in the income guidelines,
Mhm.
and which are probably right at
Well,
so much percent above the poverty line.
Exactly. There's so many levels. A one person, a two person, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever that may be. And if they meet those income guidelines,
Mhm.
they're eligible to come in and be enrolled in the program.
Well, they're not going to, of course, you would let them know if they were eligible
Oh, yes.
they can make an appointment with you,
Hmm.
and then you would determine if they were eligible
Exactly.
based on those two factors. And also, I suppose, you would assist them. I guess you're working with the various industries and
Right.
employment services and working with the industries. Now, do the industries get any kind of tax credits? Say, for example, if they were, some of these programs have
What-
tax credits.
What we do is, especially if they're on the job training, we reimburse that employer for the hours that client worked. So if they have 680 hours, we reimburse that employer for what time they spent out, even though they have to pay that individual for their work
Right.
that they do, but we reimburse them back for what they spent.
what
on
they've
the
spent
training.
in training on the training of the individual.
Exactly. Now,
Now that's good.
yeah, it is. But now they have to. We talk about a contract of signing and say, hey, once the individual's been trained, we would like for you to hire him full time
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
put him to work full time with that individual, as long as they work out in the OJT part.
yeah, yeah. On the job training.
Mhm.
So because, for example, now it's always possible that they're not going to work out.
Exactly. And sometimes some of them do not work out.
Mhm.
And then what happens is if they don't work out, they come back to me, and then we go to Plan B. And Plan B is say, hey, look, we'll work on the things that you all are suffering at and see if we can correct those issues and problems. And then we'll place them somewhere else that they feel comfortable. But we like to put them in positions that they're comfortable with.
Hmm.
Okay? If somebody's not comfortable in a factory, we don't want to put them in a factory.
Right.
If somebody's not comfortable working in a restaurant, we want to put them in a restaurant.
Hmm.
But we want to know what type of skills they have, or if any, what their needs or what they want to do.
Now, Richie, do you all have those evaluation things that you do? Some, that give you an idea of what their strengths and weaknesses are,
Yes.
and what kind of skill set they have that
Right.
would benefit them in a particular kind of job?
Right. Actually, what we do, and that's done in the application process.
Okay.
And what I do is I ask them those questions, and we look at those questions. We take a small little test survey. I want to see where they stand, you know, in the level of. It's usually probably a 5 or 10 minute test. There's some math skills questions that they would have to complete, and there's some reading that they have to complete. So we want to know where they stand in that level, and then after we go through that process, we look at saying, hey, we talk about it, we make a plan, and we think of what would be best for them.
Right, right.
Because, you know, a lot of people don't think about the farmer, the farm worker, farm worker in general. So that person is out there basically with not a lot of skills, you know, just but
'Cause
farming skills.
Right, they worked on the farm all these years,
All these years, and never, you know, got out to get into regular workforce. So, you know, what can we do for them? And that's what the Kentucky Farm Workers Program does. We allow those individuals to get back into the workforce,
Yeah.
to be able to take care of the families, you know, have an income that's suitable for them, and a job that they're enjoying
Right, right,
and want
right.
to stay.
Right, and want to stay. And so, in addition to your being able to help get them trained either on the job or in a training program, you can you also like help them get, say, for example, their GED, if that's something they need in order to get in a because
Right.
you know how you have to have that high school
Oh, you got to have
diploma,
that, yes.
and if you don't have the diploma, you've got to have that GED.
Right.
So you'll help assist them. Well, you all don't do that. I guess you refer them.
We
to,
refer them, and you know the good thing about it is, Lisa, is my office is right in the Adult Education Center.
Okay.
So I'm right there in the Barstow office. My office is in the back of the Adult Education Center, which I share offices with several people, which is CASA. We have an office there. They have an office there. The EMS service has an office there. Inside
Now,
the
is
building.
that out by the jail?
It is.
Okay, out on the old Boston Road?
It is.
I forget what
Exactly.
that highway number is.
It is. Well, it actually is
Or
it's West Stephen Foster.
West Stephen Foster is the address. What is that actual address?
860 West Stephen Foster.
860 West Stephen Foster. So, and vocational rehabilitation, I don't know,
No,
they moved their office to
did.
E-Town.
Yes, they're in
Everybody's
E-Town.
moving their offices,
Yes, they're in
Richie,
E-Town.
to Elizabethtown. I don't know if what I think about that. I won't go into that.
Okay.
But now, I'm glad that you have a place that you can have an office over here. And but we also have adult education in Washington County, I
We do.
hope still.
We still do. That's out on 555. That's in the ECTC building.
Okay, good, that's right, that's right. I'm glad you refreshed my memory on that.
Right.
So, and then the farmer, as you indicated, oftentimes has been just on the farm and kind of sheltered in a sense, I guess. And they sometimes need what you call those soft skills, which, you know, I know that if they're farmers, they've gotten up early in the morning, so they're accustomed to, but, you know, there are other things sometimes that you need in these other job placements, like punching a clock.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
I don't know what else in that regard. You can't just call in sick. You only get like maybe 3 excuses at the factory, and then you're
Exactly.
out the door.
Exactly.
So you have to have good work ethic in regard to being there and being punctual and being on the job.
And we go over skills of that nature too. Actually, we help them with resume writing, learning how to fill out the job application properly. In order for that to happen. Um, I usually go with that individual the first time, and we go through the interview process. I don't sit in on the interviews, but I go with that individual to that industry or that place and say, kind of give them a comfort of saying, you know, I'm standing here with you. You know, I'm with you.
You're being supportive
Right.
of that person.
Right.
Probably help them a little bit with what they should be wearing to the interview.
Right, exactly.
And how to maybe behave in an interview.
Right.
Because a lot of people have never had a formal job interview.
Yeah, especially. So, you know, we give them those skills and stuff and make sure that they're ready when they're ready to get on in the workforce and ready to go to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good program. Is that's just a part of the job that you do, isn't it, Richard?
That's I do more little things behind doors.
Yeah.
But you know, that's each
Yeah.
and all beyond itself. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, there's always all those little extras that people in your kind of career do.
Right.
Simply because you want to see this person be successful.
Exactly, and that's what we need. You know, they're out there in the workforce right now. They're skilled workers. They're hard to find, and you know the labor market right now to find those skilled workers are slim. So to find somebody that's even been trained, that's skilled in an area, it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And so you really have to see if you can get these individuals in, and they have to want it in order enough to to get them motivated.
So in other words, Richie will tell the listening eyes, there's no point in coming in to see you unless they really want a job.
That's right. That's right. You really have to want to work, and these days and times you have to work.
Yeah.
Things are getting to the point where it takes two sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
the days of the old days are gone.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The mothers don't stay home any day. They don't stay home anymore while the father's out. Working the farm.
Right. Right.
It takes two.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So.
But they can reach me in the Barchton office, and my phone number is 1-502-331-6220, or they can contact me on my cell. My cell is 859-481-4990.
Yeah, and we have a lot of farmers. We're a rural area, so and Richie. So again, that area is so it has to be someone that is either coming to work here or someone from Washington County or Washington, there I go again, Washington, Shelby, Nelson, and Hardin, that is living in those areas and going to work somewhere else.
Well, and exactly, if they live in another area, say if they live in Marion County with a web, we can refer them to the employment specialist in Marion County.
Okay.
If they live in, say, Lexington, we have employment specialist that covers that area. If we were mentioning Todd County and places that we have an employment specialist to cover that area. So if they're in those counties and they need to figure out who to speak to in that person, they call me.
You can always refer them, can't you?
I can refer those people to those counties, because what we want to do is, like I said, we don't want to leave these farm worker people out. We want to help those people just like we want to help anybody else.
Yeah.
We want to get those people up and working and running,
And being self-supportive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So give us those numbers one more time.
Okay.
It's Richie Hamilton.
Mine.
And the program is called
Kentucky Farmers, Kentucky Farmer Workers Program.
Kentucky Farmer Workers Program. Okay. And that number again?
It's 1-502-331-6220. That's the office number.
Okay.
And my cell number is 859-481-4990.
Right. So, and even if you don't answer, leave a message, and you'll get back with them.
I always get back to them. It might not be that day they call, but I check my voicemails and I check my messages and stuff, and I'll get back to them as ASAP, because these people, if they're interested and they're going to call, I want to make sure that I get back to them on a timely manner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great, Richie. Well, I want to thank you for being here today.
Well, Lisa, thank you for having
and
me.
that sounds like a wonderful program. I'm
It
just so
is.
glad that you're working on that. And
We just
Get-
want to know that Washington County, there's a lot of things that some people don't know that we have.
Yeah.
You know, and especially this program here, you know, it could benefit a lot of folks.
that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your hard work and thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
Lisa. Thanks for having me.